Yes, with the actual situation that is happening right now, with all the information that we are receiving from the media, from our environment, what can we do to don't feel panic and to feel safe and to feel more centered?
Yes. One of the main things that we can do is we first have to realize that our minds are used to operating on their own. They're
Mhm.
used to being this dependent thing that makes all these decisions and draws all these conclusions and makes these smart decisions and goes for it. And the problem with that is the mind is only a part of who we are. And when the going gets unpredictable, the mind, who's used to running on analysis and logic and predictability in order for it to feel stable, now doesn't have those crutches to lean on. And it's experiencing itself in this buoyant reality where it doesn't know what to grab onto.
Mhm.
So, what I've been teaching people for 20 years is that we have to get the mind to tether itself, to anchor itself to the body, so that mind and body and breath can work together, or mind and body and spirit can work together again, the way they were supposed to be working all the time. But we had the liberty of not having to take a look at that. And so people were out there thinking they were doing the right thing, but they were also encountering great degrees of stress and great degrees of unfulfillment and lack of satisfaction, or lack of feeling a life purpose, or lack of healing in the physical body. All kinds of strains and issues were existing. That's why I wrote the book that I wrote, was like, hey, wait a minute, people, there's something we can do here. And it helps tremendously, instantaneously, if we train the mind how to tether onto the body. Because when the mind comes onto the body, the mind slows down. Instead of it running like this rapid moving ceiling fan that's spinning so fast, coming up with ideas and conclusions and drawing to knee-jerk reactions and all of that kind of stuff, it's like, stop. We have to stop living that way. And the body, it operates in this other kind of motion. And the essential soulful self, this other kind of frequency, even more so. It's this well-being. And here's this mind doing this, and you can see that they're not even part of the same reality unless we slow the mind down so that they can get in tandem with each other, and we can experience ourselves in a version of ourselves greater than the mind, bigger than the mind. So then the mind will calm down. When the mind knows that it's part of something bigger than itself, it calms down. That's why we all want to belong to something. We all want to serve. We want to make a difference. We want to be a part of something that matters. The mind wants to be a part of something bigger than itself. And so when we're identified as the mind, we're always looking for something to contribute, or something to belong to, or a connectedness, or being accepted by others, etc. And and there's a way to get that sensation happening in our lives that is not so dramatic. There's a way to get that happening that is unconditional. There's a way to get that sensation of well-being um, regularly occurring in our lives that doesn't require anybody else deciding anything else for us, but rather get the mind to come onto the body and pay attention to what's going on inside. And if we start breathing slowly and breathing lowly in our belly, it also slows down the mind. When you slow your breath, you slow down the mind. And when you slow the breath and slow the mind, the next thing you know, mind and body and breath can come together, because the mind has been operating too fast to connect with the body and the breath that are operating over here. When we slow that mind down and they all start working together, we pick up enough momentum that we can transform all kinds of things. We can pierce through the veils of our own compartmentalization of our minds. We can unpack old beliefs and dissolve them. We can come present to the fact that we're actually more okay than we were thinking that we were in any given moment. So there are many things that we can do. We can learn to breathe more slowly. We can learn to breathe in the belly. we can anchor ourselves in the body instead of letting ourselves just run up here in our heads and outside of our bodies. We can learn how to draw ourselves down into this body in such a way that we feel a sense of well-being immediately. I'm happy to share some practices that we could all do together to have a sense of what I'm talking about. Sometimes that helps generate an understanding more instantaneously if we can just have the experience of that, if we get a chance to do that today.
Yes, please. I will love it. That means that we are more powerful than we were told.
We have to learn how to come present to ourselves any minute. So, and do it so often that we kind of are never not connected in that way. It needs to be a new come from, not just something we go to when we're nervous or when we're upset, but rather something that we live as, and that we continuously speak from this place and action from this place and sit in this place. And one of the ways that we can begin to do that is just learn to breathe in your belly instead of your upper chest. So I'm going to take a deep breath the wrong way right now. We don't want to do it like this. It's not like that. We're supposed to not breathe here, but breathe low in the belly. So when I take a deep breath into my belly, my chest isn't moving at all. That stimulates the nervous system that all is well. It calms you down. It slows things down, stretches them out. And as that happens, we are able to have a sense of well-being. Automatically, the subconscious begins to pick up on, oh, okay, we're okay. Let's start healing and filtering and cleansing and detoxifying the body rather than looking for a bear or running or hiding or fighting. And so that alone is so simple. Breathe in your belly all the time. Breathe in your belly all the time. Another thing that we can do is start to organize the energy that gets so chaotic in our energy field from all the worrying and all the fretting and all the story writing and all of the imagining, the worst case scenarios and all of that. We get chaotic in our energy, and we have to bring some organization to that energy and let it flow in such a fashion that it can deal with one thing at a time and process it in a manner that works for us instead of trying to make sense out of all the possibilities at one time. It's so important to anchor in this way. And so I think I have an image here. I do. That I teach some online courses, so I have some little images here that I think will be helpful for us. That basically the energy is supposed to run down through your body and hit the earth and come back up and come out and cycle around and around and around, cycle around and around like this, and constantly be replenished and rejuvenating and constantly rising up through us. And what happens is it rises up through us, and we have all kinds of issues that are unresolved, and the energy has to go around all those unresolved issues, and it picks up a wobble and a distortion. And you can see how this energy field is all distorted here. Inside this distorted energy field, this person is not going to be able to be healthy. They're not going to be able to be strong and robustly rejuvenating themselves. And they're also going to perceive life very differently than it actually is. They're going to imagine worst case scenario all the time. They're going to think that it's not good, or I'm not in harmony, or something's out of order, or something's wrong. And then they start writing stories about what it could be that's wrong. Well, I bet it's that, or I bet it's this, or I bet it's that. And it's just, it gets out of control really quickly. So we want to stop all that. And the way to do that is to start to learn to breathe up and down through this central channel of the body. When we're breathing up and down through the central channel, I think I have another image here that can help us. When we're breathing up and down this whole central channel, we start to organize the energy flow. So there are some ways to do that. We can start to anchor ourselves in the body instead of letting our awareness to come up here into our head and out here and into the chaos. If we anchor ourselves, we stay very stable and very present and very clear. And that's what we have to do. So I'm going to just share some anchor points. Right here is an anchor point where we can anchor at the base of our spine. And right here is right at the heart level where we can anchor with our shoulder blades by pulling them together and down. And I'm going to teach us how to do this. And there's another one in the throat and another one in the center of the brain. This one's easy to do as well, where we can just roll our eyes up for a second, and you can feel the tension behind your eyes just by rolling your eyes up. When you do that, there's tension behind your eyes. That's that anchor point in the center of the brain that we're looking for. So I'm going to teach these 3 anchor points so that people can get down in their body, because the moment you get in your body, your mind stops writing all that story stuff. It just comes present. And when we can stay present, we're actually a lot smarter than we think we are. We're actually more wise, and we actually feel more okay than we did just a moment ago. So we just have to learn some simple things that we can do to land in this body and feel safe and feel connected again. Your body is the earth version of you. We know how good it feels when you can walk in nature, when you can take a walk in the park, or you can see the trees or feel them, or be barefoot in the grass. We know how good that feels. And we want to be able to have that felt sensation all the time. We want to have it consistently. And the body will do that same thing for us, but we don't live in our bodies. Most of the time, we just live in our heads. And there is, I can show you how living in your head actually pulls you so outside of your body. Here's your physical body. And these layers are layers of the energy field. And the red one right there, the third one out, is the mental body. So when we start overthinking, it pulls all of our energy out of our body and out here into this energy field outside of the body. So when we're not in our bodies, we feel very wobbly and very uncertain and very ungrounded, because we are. So these are practices to get you, boom, back in your body, okay? So the first one I'm going to teach is at the heart level. If you squeeze your shoulder blades together and pull them down, just pull them together and pull them down, it automatically anchors your heart, and it anchors your consciousness in your heart space. It makes you aware inside your body of that space. And that particular space brings with it all kinds of energy frequencies of compassion and forgiveness and availability and love and tenderness and kindness, forgiveness, some amazing things, okay? So good ones to be plugging into, all right? Now, when we do that, now just relax the shoulder blades for a moment, because I'm going to teach you another one. I'm going to teach you the one that's down here. This one is the big one for people, because people are so used to living up here in their heads that they don't live down here at all, okay? So this is the big thing that I find people just freaking out about. So when we get them to activate this one here at the tip of the spine, they start calming down immediately. Immediately. Someone can be having a panic attack, and if they know how to do this, they'll stop it instantly. It stops it, because you can't be in a panic and also be in your deep grounded wisdom. And that's what this is. It's about your deep grounded wisdom. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to choose deep grounded wisdom over panic every day, right? It's a good choice, right? I'm going to pick deep grounded wisdom. Let me think about it. Yep, deep grounded wisdom. That's what I want. So let's do that. So here, it's kind of a weird thing how to learn how to do it, but just imagine that you're going to the bathroom and you have to stop the stream instantly. You have to squeeze certain muscles to do that, okay? You squeeze those muscles right now. Squeeze them like with everything you've got. Just squeeze them, and then relax it by about 1/2. And right there, that amount of muscle contraction is all that is needed. And here's what happens. It takes this energy and pulls it right down to the base of your spine. We want to pull it down to the base of your spine so that the base of your spine is anchoring your consciousness. And now take a breath in your belly while you're holding those muscles, okay? So you're holding these muscles, and now you're gonna breathe in your belly, not in your chest, but down in your belly. Breathe low in your belly, below your belly button. And sometimes people will say, well, wait a second. I'm trying to squeeze these muscles and then I'm trying to breathe in that same area. What are you talking about? I can't do both. And I say, au contraire. Yes, you can. You can do both. You can do both. I've been teaching thousands and thousands and thousands of people how to do this for years and years and years. And at first, the majority of them say, I can't do that. And within a day or two, they're like, I got this. So just know that it will come. But here's the benefit. The benefit of squeezing those muscles and breathing against them creates a sense of resistance in there. And we want to be able to feel that sense of resistance. Because if you can feel that sense of resistance, the subconscious says, oh, there I am. There I am. I know who I am now. I got it. I'm grounded. I'm right here. I'm okay. The subconscious will do that immediately. And that's what we want. We want it to be able to land easily. So we want our awareness to have a place to live that feels safe and connected. And inside the body, your consciousness will feel that way. If you don't climb inside your body, your mind is going to remain freaked out and constantly look to the outer world for some sense of safety. And so here's what ironically happens is that when we don't feel that sense of resistance inside the base of our own system, we go out into the world and create resistance. We get into fights with people. We have antagonistic reactions to circumstances and situations. We create resistance in the outer world, and it's no fun. It doesn't lead to anything enjoyable. And what I'm trying to share right now is that the reason that we do that is that we're trying to figure out who we are. You know, if you've ever been in an argument with someone or a debate, and you say, well, here's how I feel. And they say, well, no, here's how I feel. And then you say, I understand that. And here's how I feel. And we start understanding ourselves because of the interactions that we're having with others. That same understanding is available to us. And the felt sensation that we would have if we did understand ourselves is available to us all the time. We can have that feeling anytime. MÜLA BANDHA is what it's called. This is called MÜLA BANDHA. Okay, it's because of Muladhara is the root chakra from the East. This is an ancient Eastern practice that meditators would anchor in their body so that they could ground in the body and let their minds open up, let their minds unfold and open up and expand into the cosmos and access universal wisdom and intelligence. And so this MÜLA BANDHA is a way to stay in the body and receive all this benefit, because what many people do is they meditate and they go out of their body and then they come back in their body and live their lives, and they're still facing the same stresses. But if you stay here and expand your awareness, you now have a new understanding about everything that you're encountering. So you embody the benefits of meditation as well. So, but for practical purposes, it will stop your stress in an instant.